Welcome back to another Senior Learning Institute's educational moment, where older adults and their loved ones turn for honest and straightforward information. In just a few minutes, you'll enjoy bite-sized, easily digestible nuggets of knowledge, empowering you to make the right decision the first time. So without further ado, here's our founder, certified senior advisor, seniors real estate specialist, nationally syndicated podcaster and speaker, the advocate you can trust, Mr. Ted Gottlieb.
Hello, I'm Ted Gottlieb, the founder of the Senior Learning Institute. Welcome back to another educational moment. You know, some of my clients' homes are well kept and others are not. The homes that are not well maintained are often a result of a lack of awareness, lack of money, or the desire to spend it, or an inability to make the repairs themselves. So our goal today is to help reduce safety concerns and help you maintain your property's value by keeping it maintained. As always, we brought in an expert to talk through it with us. Kevin Pannebecker with UpKeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Thanks for sharing with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
No, we really appreciate it. Kevin, what are some of the more common maintenance issues that you come across in homes that are owned by older adults?
There's a wide variety of things, as you may suspect, but it would be everything from having to change a high light bulb to changing a smoke detector battery that might be up a little bit higher. Sometimes people really shouldn't be on ladders anymore, and so that's why we have the young guys on the team to go up and do those types of things. But there could be, maybe a gutter has come loose, and soffit and fascia problems and things like that. Maybe they need more lighting in the home, so we need to probably run some electrical wiring or put up either more lighting or better lighting for them to help them see what's going on around the home that much better. So just a few things.
Got it. Yeah, I oftentimes too, especially when we're talking older adults, oftentimes if you're living on one level and they rarely go down into the lower level, they're not seeing things that you and I might see if we're walking through the house. And next thing you know, you've got a laundry list of things. So I think it's always
Right.
great to have another eye, whether it be a family member or a neighbor or, a service like yours that can come in and actually do that.
You bet.
Yep. So I know that as I get older, there are things that I want to do less and less, either because I don't want to do it, my time's more important, or I can't do it, or I don't know. I just rather have somebody else take it off my plate, like cutting my grass, for instance. My mindset is that I want to stay in my house for as long as I can, but there's certain things I really just don't care to do. I'm going to hire somebody else to cut my grass, and I'm going to spend my time doing something else. So that's a mindset that I think I want to set with everybody here is that, yeah, you could stay at home longer for sure. You don't have to go to that condo unless you choose to go and maybe downsize into something along those lines, but you can stay put where you are, but sometimes you need a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
So talk to me about some of the services that you offer with UpKeep. Kind of go over the whole idea behind the service itself and how you go about determining how it is that you're going to best serve prospective clients. Walk me through, let's say you're coming into my house for the first time and you're putting your eyes on things. Walk me through that process.
Okay. Well, UpKeep, as you mentioned, is actually a full home warranty, but it has quarterly maintenance visits, 4 quarterly maintenance visits per year. And so when we first meet somebody, we call that an onboarding meeting. And I'll come in, meet with them, explain to them everything that the warranty covers. And then we go through all the different maintenance items that are covered on that quarterly basis. And it's things like, changing the furnace filter, flushing the water heater. So back to your point about maybe somebody not being able to go down into the basement, our guy's going to be there, 4 times a year to make sure that those things are down there, that the systems are being checked properly. Part of the onboarding process is also getting a log of all their model and serial numbers. So in case maybe there was some recall that was announced on some kind of a washer, if we find our clients that have that particular model, we can alert them, let them make sure they contact the manufacturer to get that taken care of. But it also allows us to have a better idea, I should say, of what kind of part to bring, because I know what model of dishwasher you have, for instance, if something's going wrong. But the idea that we have somebody else that's younger guys and actually a gal that can go into your home, do the maintenance to make sure that there aren't any unknown leaks. Maybe you haven't been able to see or hear a leak. Maybe making sure that the electrical outlets are all operational. then flushing the water heater, changing the furnace filter. It does amazing things to make sure that the house is maintained properly and still stay safe for the homeowner.
Right. So what's the advantage of having a home warranty, and compare that to a handyman service, for instance, that can come in and do similar type of repairs, but don't offer the warranty? Why is the warranty such a great thing for me to have?
Well, there are a couple different types of warranties you can get. The first one, some people are just kind of a basic one, and they can get coverage on appliances and their heating and cooling system. I'll call it HVAC, so it's just shorter. So, and then the other warranty will cover all the major systems in the house, including plumbing, electrical, appliances, and HVAC. And so what we're doing with the maintenance is we're making sure that all those appliances are being maintained properly according to manufacturer specs. We're making sure that the furnace and the AC is properly cleaned during the spring and fall cleaning checks that we perform, so that they don't have to worry about, is the furnace going to be okay when it starts to get cold, or is the AC going to be okay when it starts to get hot? We've gone in there and we've already done a check on it. We've put the gauges on it. We've made sure that everything is working and the refrigerant's is the proper levels for the AC. So those are just some of the things that we do. But by, again, having somebody else with a younger set of eyes looking at things and going through a regular list of things that need to be done every quarter, the consumer knows that the things that are important in their home are being watched and attended to that maybe they didn't even know about or can't hear or see anymore.
Right, and that's really, really important. Again, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes things just start to slip. There are other things that are priorities, and we're not thinking about things. Even maybe when we were at our best, we weren't paying attention to those things.
Right.
So I get that. Also, from a real estate perspective, I can say that when there are home warranties involved, I feel more comfortable when it comes to either selling a house or working with my clients who are buying a home, knowing that those major big ticket items are being taken care of. So
Right.
let's just say, for instance, you come in and my furnace is 10 years old or 12 years old. I assume you go in and you make sure that it's working properly before you offer the warranty. Help me get through that whole process.
Well, there's two steps. I mean, if it's a realty transaction, typically almost every home has an inspection now before, as part of the realty transaction, right?
Mm.
And so the inspector has, for the most part, checked to make sure things are working. And as far as we're concerned, if it's working, it's covered. On the retail side, it's a little bit different. There's normally a 30-day wait period from the time somebody purchases a warranty to the time the warranty takes effect. And that is just to make sure that things are actually working. But we schedule that onboarding meeting just as quickly as we possibly can once the customer either contacts us through the website or through the realtor closing transaction, so that we can get out there to meet with them, and I can get those records and ask them if everything's okay, if they know of any concerns, that type of thing. So as long as it's working, we cover it. We're not really concerned about the age, because we know that we're maintaining it properly. We can extend the life of that particular product.
So what happens if it's a June day and the air conditioning goes out? What does that look like?
They would simply call us at our office, and we would send out one of our HVAC certified technicians to go out there, take a look at it, make sure it's not, there's nothing mechanically wrong with it first, make sure you have enough refrigerant, and then determine maybe it was just capacitors go out frequently, and sometimes you can just change those inside the AC unit, and that will make everything work fine again. And so we will try to repair it as best we can. If it's not repairable, then we will replace it.
How many attempts do you normally take in order to then determine that it's not replaceable? I'm sorry, that it's not repairable, that you have to replace it?
It's going to vary on the situation, Ted, because if we come in there and we see that, the fans all, busted up and things like that, then it's possible that you can just repair the issue by replacing the fan, because those things are parts and pieces. But sometimes there may be multiple things. The fan's bad, maybe the coil's bad, maybe the condenser's bad, maybe there's a short in the system because some rodent got in and started chewing the wires. And something like that, you're going to have to say, okay, this is a replace issue. We're going to have to take care of it. But as far as number of visits, it's going to vary. I mean, we'll go in there, and if we can't get it fixed, really, our guy typically will not leave unless it's working. And so if it acts up again in a couple of days, we'll figure out what's going on. And if it gets to be a point where it's just not working, we'll have to replace it when we do so.
Got it. So there's all sorts of warranty programs that are out there, home protection plans per se. I come across them all the time.
Sure.
And oftentimes there is that rub that it takes a while. The warranty companies tend to want to make the repair versus the replacement. I assume that's because of cost issues and all those type of things. So how do you determine or decide between warranty companies? What kind of research do you need to do?
Well, check with realtors, but you can also check with neighbors to see if they have one. That's what's going on with their particular home warranty program. Probably one area that's overlooked, though, frequently is checking with the Better Business Bureau. Better Business Bureau has rating systems, as everybody knows, and there are a lot of warranty companies out there that have a nice name in the public, but they have got a terrible rating on the Better Business Bureau. And that goes back to the point you're making, that they just didn't respond to repairs or replacing an item, and they kept dragging it on. We hear stories sometimes where it takes 4 months to replace an air conditioner, and so it means you've lived through the heat of the summer and it gets to be replaced when it's gone into the fall. So what good did that do you at that point? But I would always suggest checking with friends, check with reviews, go out to Google reviews, Facebook reviews, check with the Better Business Bureau, and just do a little bit of research on it. Be very wary of just going after the lowest price, because there are frequently reasons why it's the lowest price. It's always a question of value, as we all know. So those would be the methods I would first employ.
Right. Most of the folks that I know that have had home protection plans, they've either got them as part of the real estate transaction when they first bought the house. Let's just say that they did inspections, and inspections showed an older heating and air conditioning system, and the sellers didn't want to replace it, so we negotiated a home protection plan to cover those systems. Most of the folks that I know that have had these plans have ultimately said it's the greatest thing they've ever gotten, because it's more than paid for itself. They'll point out that new or sometimes the refrigerator, if it's included in the coverage or not, but the new the range that's on the wall, or the cooktop, or the water heaters, they'll say, yeah, home protection plan, home protection plan, home protection plan. I think if you pay into them long enough, they're going to pay for themselves. Are you finding that as well?
Yeah, we are. We're finding that we are having a lower claims per industry average, simply because we are doing the maintenance. But we've had also a very high renewal rate, because people are happy with the work that we're doing. And you're absolutely right. I mean, if you have one of those programs and you have all of a sudden a major furnace or air conditioning expense, it has paid for itself many times over just the first year. You're absolutely right.
So what do these home protection plan services cost?
You can find on the low end anything from about $450 to maybe about $1,000, just depending on coverage, what they're doing, size of the home, that type of thing. Most plans will start out that, the coverage will have you one number, and that's going to be for a home up to about 5,000 square feet, for instance. And then it can also depend on how many furnaces and how many air conditioners a home has, because that can also change the value of the plan, because they have to cover more units.
Right. Do any of these home protection plans cover roofs as well?
Not that I'm aware of. Typically, roofing is covered by insurance. So here in the Missouri, St. Louis area, we have lots of hail damage issues going through, and typically that's almost always a roofing insurance issue.
Right. So go over with us again the systems and the things in the homes that are available to be covered. I would say standard coverage as well as upgraded coverage. What are the systems that we're talking about?
Okay, standard coverage, or it's basically two-step coverage. Maybe an essential coverage would be something to cover appliances and then the HVAC system, because those are the ones that people mostly have concerns about. Then you have extended coverage, and that's going to be appliances and HVAC, but it'll also be plumbing and electrical. So it means if you have an outlet that isn't working properly, or if you maybe have some kind of a problem with a toilet running on and on and on, then the proper home warranty would then cover those things in addition to covering the major systems.
Okay. So let's say I have this home protection plan, this warranty coverage, and you said you come out quarterly?
Yes.
All right. So give me an idea, when you come out in the first quarter of the year, what are you looking at?
The visits vary by season, as you might suspect. For, like, say, the spring season, which is what we're in now, it includes things like making sure you're changing the furnace filter, but it also includes things like doing the clean and check on the full AC unit. Then we'll do things like check the sump pump. We may, check to make sure that there aren't any kind of odd or hidden plumbing leaks. We will clean the range hood, for instance. Some other quarter, we're going to clean the dryer vent, which is a big safety issue. And then we also will clean things like the washer filters, because again, those can get clogged up, and then also you can get water all over your laundry room, that type of thing. So there's different things we do each quarter, just because you don't have to, you only have to flush a water heater basically once a year. So you only have to do that once. You really only have to check a sump pump a couple times a year. And so we'll checking those things just periodically throughout the year, just to make sure everything's working right.
Since I'm paying this annually, when you come out quarterly, are there any additional charges for the work that you do when you come out to do your quarterly maintenance visits?
No, the quarterly maintenance visits are included with the program, so there's no additional charge. The only time there will be an additional charge is if we're coming out to either repair or replace something. And the deductible, we call it a deductible. Other people call it a trip charge. It would be $75. So we can come out, we can take care of maybe a plumbing issue or maybe an electrical issue on the same call, and you only have one deductible with us compared to some of the other warranty companies where you'll have two deductibles because they pay them to the contractor, they're not paying into the actual warranty company.
Okay, and if that furnace needs to be replaced, am I just paying one trip charge on that?
Yeah, you'll be paid the $75 for that, and there's a limit of up to $2,500 for a furnace, and so you can normally get a good replacement furnace for $2,500. And anything over that amount, or if they're trying to upgrade the kind of furnace that they have, then they would have to pay the additional amount.
When you come out to my house on a quarterly basis and are taking care of the items on your list, are you and your team keeping your eyes open for other things that I should know about?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, even one of our visits it's in the fall, we do an exterior inspection, just to kind of walk around, see how the caulking is, make sure that the windows are closing tight. We can even get a roofer to walk the roof if they've had some concerns about the roof, to see if there's any issues about that. But we are constantly looking around saying, oh, the sump pump didn't do this, or, did you see this? Looks like there's a little drip over here somewhere. We think there may be a leak coming from something. Have you noticed that? Those types of things. So we're trying to be as proactive as we can on things like that, because water can destroy anything, and we want to make sure that there isn't any problem with water getting where it's not supposed to.
Right, and I assume a lot of those items that you may be calling out are not covered under my warranty. So how do I go about getting those fixed?
Well, there's some of the items that we're going to be calling out. There may be some that aren't really covered under the warranty, but maybe it's a matter that there's some exterior work that needs to be done on the soffit and fascia. So that means that you would probably need a handyman service for that. And we can make a recommendation as to calling a handyman company, and we even have a relationship with one where they can get a discount from being one of our UpKeep customers. They get a discount on the handyman services. So that's really what we do, is we tie them in. They can get the discount. They can get the bid from whomever they want, and they can use whomever they want. But we will surely give them a bid and give them the discount for being an UpKeep client.
Right. I don't know if I can stress enough how important the upkeep of the house is.
Right.
It can make or break the deal when it comes to selling your home, or it could certainly impact how much you sell your home for. When I go and show property, I'm that agent that sees just about everything, and I'm pointing it out to my people if they're not seeing it themselves, my buyers. And they take all of that into consideration. It's when I drive up to the home and see the driveway and the caulking and everything else that goes along with it. These are things that I notice, and it creates an impression in my mind and on the minds of potential buyers of the house. So if maximizing your return for the sale of your home is important, and it tends to be even more important as we age, because we need that money for our care or our legacy.
Right.
It's really the way to go, is to be proactive and make sure things are taken care of. There's nothing more painful to me than to watch some of the folks that I come across sell their house to an investor who is buying the house well below market value because it wasn't maintained.
Right.
And it's just painful to watch. So I highly recommend that as consumers, you really stay on top of the maintenance of your home, hire a company like UpKeep that can come out and keep an eye on things for you and to make those necessary repairs that will save you probably thousands of dollars in additional repairs that could have been headed off had you been on top of it. And no one blames you for not being on top of it. You're focused on other things, but depending on professionals to keep an eye on you is really important. It's kind of like going to the doctor for an annual physical. You have to, someone else is going to see things that you're not necessarily seeing in yourself. Same thing for your house. So I highly recommend that you do that. All right. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they go about doing that?
They can go out to our website, which is simply www.upkeep.homes, and it is .homes, it's not .com. Or they can call at 636-387-7331, and I'd be happy to have a phone conversation with them and come out and visit them if they wish.
Great. So that's upkeep.homes, and it's a great website, very informative. If you're into the internet, or give Kevin a call directly, that would be phenomenal.
Yep.
I want to thank you, Kevin, for joining us today and sharing your insight with us. And I also want to thank our listeners for joining this Senior Learning Institute educational moment. As I like to remind folks that have listened to previous versions of our podcast at the Senior Learning Institute, we strive to provide the straightforward and unbiased information you need to make smart decisions the first time. We're known for connecting older adults and their advocates to the resources they need when it comes to anything senior related, from aging in place to selling the home in any condition. Please don't ask me to sell it as is because you didn't keep it up. Estate and financial planning, in-home care, estate sales, clean-out services, you name it. Anywhere in the United States, we can help. To learn more, you can visit us at theseniorlearninginstitute.com. Until next time, I'm Ted Gottlieb, Certified Senior Advisor, Seniors Real Estate Specialist, and founder of the Senior Learning Institute.